For the 6th season in a row, Walters is the official bar of the Nats Chat podcast, located across the street from the ballpark, just off South Capitol Street.
Here's the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball toward the middle. Sliding backhand stop Chisholm. Pops to his feet. Throw to first. High off the glove of right. And Nunez is going to score. The ball into the dugout. And the Nationals get a huge gift. A 3-2 lead as Chisholm sailed the throw nonchalantly. Sidearm flipping it toward the first baseman. He had all day to throw him out, but made a bad throw. Nunez scores the go-ahead run on the E4.
Runners first and second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a fly ball deep left center field. Cruz going back on the warning track. He's at the wall. He leaps and he can't make the play. It carries past him back toward the infield. Schumann has scored. Here comes Grisham. He scores. And into third base is Ben Rice. And the Yankees have done it again. They have taken the lead 4-3 as Cruz got back to the wall to set up to jump. He went up and jumped into the wall and couldn't get up high enough for a chance to make the play. And Blackburn ready. The pitch. Swing and Vivas hits it in the air. Shallow left center field. Here comes Grisham. Bellinger's there. It's going to be Bellinger who makes the catch. And the game is over. Paul Blackburn with a perfect 6 up, 6 down over 2 innings to close this one out. And the Yankees have swept this 3-game series from the Nationals.
And welcome to Nats Chat. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. I'm joined by Washington Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman of NatsJournal.com. He's at Nationals Park. So the portions of MLB regular seasons before and after All-Star breaks are commonly referred to as the first half and the second half, right? But the truth is, many more games now are played before the All-Star break than after. The Nats will come out of their 2026 All-Star break with just 65 games left in this regular season. The post-All-Star break portion of the regular season now is short. What is going to happen with the Nats over that portion? That is the question, and that is anyone's guess. But what happened with the Nats over the weekend was brutal. They got swept in 3 games against the New York Yankees at Nationals Park, with each loss featuring the Nats blowing a lead in an 8th or 9th inning. The latest such loss Sunday afternoon, a 5-3 loss to the Yankees in a game in which the Nats blew a 3-2 8th inning lead by allowing 2 runs in the top of the 8th and then a run in the top of the 9th. So the Nats now are back to being below 500, 48 and 49 run differential of +7. The Yankees now 54 and 42 run differential of +91. The Yankees overall have been a really good team this season. The Nats, though, were in position to beat the Yankees in each game and yet did not win a single game in this series. This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by the nonprofit Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. Tired of paying $4 for a gallon of gas? CCAN Action Fund is raffling 3 amazing electric cars, including a Rivian SUV. This is part of an annual fundraiser to fight for clean air in the DMV. Get 3 chances to win with just 1 ticket at evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org. So the Nats go into the break on a 3-game losing streak. The Nats will begin their post-All-Star break portion of the season with a 6-game trip out west, beginning with a 3-game series at the Athletics at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, California this coming weekend. But Mark, you have a series like we just had with the Nats and Yankees at Nationals Park, and there are all kinds of questions that are raised. There are all kinds of feelings that are conjured up. But to this issue of what is going to happen with this team the rest of this season, the offense has been outstanding. The starting pitching since the start of May has been much better. The defense in recent weeks has been much better. But the relief pitching, as we have come to know, is atrocious. And, I know for me, I really do wonder, what is going to happen with this team the rest of this season? It's such a hard question to answer right now.
I think, and I could be very wrong about how this is all going to play out, but I think the rest of the season is going to be pretty similar to what we've seen so far. I think this is kind of who they are. They are good enough, especially from an offensive standpoint, to be in pretty much every game. From a pitching standpoint, you hope they get enough from the starting pitching, and they have a lot of the times. And then you just hope somehow if they have a lead that the bullpen can hang on, which they have done at times, and obviously at other times have not. I don't necessarily think any of that's going to change dramatically. I don't know that they're going to take off. but I also don't know that they're going to just collapse the rest of the way. I think this is, for better or worse, who they are. And my takeaway from that, in a broader sense, is that they're close. I think they're a lot closer than any of us thought they would be. But there's a difference between being close and actually being able to get over that hump and win close games, especially against good teams. A lot of these blown leads have come against the Yankees, the Phillies. These are good teams that they are coming up short against. And there's something to be said about that. Yes, they're hanging in there with them. Yes, they put themselves in positions to beat those teams. But if you really want to be a good team, you want to be a playoff team, you have to find a way to win these games. And that can sometimes mean the bullpen coming through, but it can also mean the offense coming through and making up for the bullpen's struggles. And I thought it was telling that in all three of these games, once the bullpen gave up the lead, the offense didn't even put up a fight after that. I get it. That's a hard thing to pick yourself up off the mat. But we really didn't see any evidence of this idea that they are a bounce back team. Yes, they've done it day to day. We haven't seen their ability to really do that within a game, especially when they give up a late lead. That, to me, might be the difference the rest of the way. They're going to blow more leads. This bullpen is not going to close out every game that they hold a 1 or 2 run lead late. They're just not. So the question really may become, when they blow leads the rest of the way, are they able to find a way to bounce back within that game and actually come back and win it?
Another thing that has become maddening with this team is how bad this team is at Nationals Park. So this 3-game sweep to the Yankees at Nationals Park over the weekend concluded a lengthy homestand for the Nats. The Nats in that homestand went 3-6. The Nats now 48-49 overall, 28-18 on the road versus 20-31 at home. 10 games above 500 on the road versus 11 games below 500 at home. The home road disparity is not new. We've talked about that many times, but that is jarring. 10 games above 500 away from home, 11 games below 500 at home. So many of the bullpen implosions have come at home. Take you back to the Nats' previous homestand, consisted of the Nats losing 3 out of 4 games against the Philadelphia Phillies. Remember the nature of that series in terms of Nats relief pitching and how bad the bullpen was in that series. Now, the fact that the post-All-Star break portion of the season is only 65 games, and the trade deadline isn't until August 3rd. Do you think that at all enters into the mind of Nats president of baseball operations, Paul Taboni, from a standpoint of trading for a reliever with team control versus trading for a reliever who is a rental? Obviously, the preference always is for a reliever who is under contract beyond this season. You don't want to do the rental thing if you don't have to. But this bullpen needs all the help that it can get. To what extent do you think is Taboni open to the possibility of trading for a rental as opposed to doing what you would think he most wants to do, which is trade for bullpen help that is under team control beyond this season?
Yeah, it's a great question. I had not thought about it in terms of how little season there will actually be left at that point. It may be like 50 games after the trade deadline they have left. So, yeah, a rental player is not even 2 full months that you're getting for them. I think right now he's going to try to find any way he can to help them out. Now, the first week or 2 out of the break, I think, makes a difference. They're back under 500. They're staring up at a larger deficit and a larger number of teams in front of them. If they're still at that point come the end of July, I think it's harder to make the case for a rental reliever, at least of giving up anything of consequence for a rental reliever if you know deep down that you're facing long odds to make it to the playoffs this year. If, on the other hand, you can get somebody who can help you now and help you in the future, of course, that would be the preference in a lot of ways. If they get back over that 500 hurdle, if they have a good opening week out of the break in Sacramento and Denver, if they are within a few games of whoever it's going to be, the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Pirates, whoever that ends up being in the final wildcard spot, I think you might be able to be a little more aggressive and say, yes, hey, we'll take a rental reliever. Maybe not as the only move that's made, but yeah, if we're giving up a low-end prospect and it doesn't cost us a whole lot in terms of salary, yeah, we'll take a rental reliever. But the price probably comes down because of that, because you're not getting, 60 games of that or more. You're probably getting 50 games or fewer of that rental reliever.
So the latest bullpen mess coming to us in this 5-3 loss to the Yankees at Nationals Park on Sunday afternoon. Two Nats relievers combined to allow 3 runs in 3 innings. Andrew Alvarez, who of course has been in the Nats starting pitching rotation for weeks for the injured Jake Irvin. With this being the final game before the All-Star break, we saw Alvarez deployed as a reliever in this game. Things did not go so well. He officially allowed 3 runs in 2 innings. He, in the top of the 8th, allowed 2 runs as he gave up a 2-out opposite field 2-run triple by Ben Rice on a high fly ball off the outfield wall in left center field for a 4-3 Yankees lead, despite Alvarez having had Rice down in the count at 1.12. Nats center fielder Dylan Cruz had a shot to make the catch, but crashed into the outfield wall. Justin Lawrence in the top of the 9th faced 4 batters and got 3 outs. We saw manager Blake Butera in this series in Game 1 try the righty-lefty, lefty-righty thing. Did not work. Game 2 tried to go with presumably 2 of the team's better right-handed relievers in Orlando Rebolta, Clayton Beeter. Did not work. Game 3, Butera tried to use a starting pitcher as a reliever. Did not work. Nothing worked with the bullpen in this series. What did you think about the triple by Rice and what happened with Cruz on the plate?
Cruz going back on the warning track. He's at the wall. He leaps and he can't make the play. It caroms past him back toward the infield.
Do you think Cruz could have made the catch had he not crashed into the outfield wall? It was hard to tell watching the play over and over whether Cruz actually had a real shot at that or not.
He believes he did, and his quotes to us afterwards is that he should have made the play. He said he mistimed the jump.
I thought I had a shot, just mistimed it and missed it.
It looked like he kind of hit the wall before he was able to take a full leap that he would have preferred. And look, that's not an easy play. You've got to track the ball. You've got to track the warning track. You've got to track the wall. You got to time that all out perfectly. I will say, and I'm sure everybody else was thinking the same thing watching it, I trust Jacob Young to make that play. Maybe not 100% of the time, but a vast majority of the time. And just so everyone knows, and we confirmed this after the game, Jacob Young was not available. He's been out for several days dealing with a hand issue. Been kind of a lingering thing. Butera said he thinks he needs another 4 or 5 days or so. So hopefully the All-Star break is enough to get him back to full strength.
Wanted to get him a couple days plus the All-Star break.
You do wonder if he's available, if he's the one out there instead of Cruz, and if so, would he have made that play? So it's not a play that 100% you expect to be made, but it is a play that you hope can be made by a good center fielder, and Cruz was beating himself up over it. He felt like he should have made that play.
Yeah, and of course, there's the thing of Alvarez allowing contact to where the ball went all the way to the wall. So, whether the play was made or not, like, the ball should not have been crushed like that, and yet it was. What'd you think of Butera using Alvarez as a reliever on Sunday?
I thought it made perfect sense. I don't think it was surprising. This is circumstantial to the calendar, essentially. Alvarez had last pitched on Tuesday. He's on normal rest. There's no start for him to make on Monday because of the All-Star break. So he could have started this game and been perfectly fine from a health standpoint. If he's available, why not use him? I think we've seen other managers in the past do this with starters on the final day before the All-Star break. He's healthy, he's fresh, he's available, might as well. And I think the plan in a perfect world was Cavalli as much as you could get him, and then Alvarez the rest of the way. They were tracking in that direction. Now, he retired the first 5 batters he faced, looked pretty good, and then single walk, and then the big hit by Rice, and it kind of fell apart after that. Given the other options, given his freshness, I think it made perfect sense. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work. Doesn't mean you'd much rather have a hard-throwing reliever with a lot of swing and miss stuff, but we know what they have available to them. We've seen what other options have worked and have not worked. I had no problem with using Alvarez in that spot. And yeah, he could have done better, but there are other reasons they could have won the game besides that.
And I mentioned this, and you alluded to this, but Rice was down at 1.12. The particulars of these bullpen implosions, you look through some of the big hits, 2 strikes on these Yankees batters over and over and over again, and the Nats just could not get big strikeouts.
2 strikes and very often 2 outs. They are so often 1 pitch away from getting out of these situations, and they have not been able to do it.
No, they have not. Your updated gory stats for Nats relief pitching in this regular season: ERA 5.07, WHIP 1.48, 71 home runs allowed, worst in MLB, 7.38 strikeouts per 9 innings, worst in MLB.
This installment of Nats Chat is brought to us by our friends at the Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund, one of the best nonprofits fighting for a greener environment in the DMV. They're back with their 8th annual electric vehicle raffle for the planet, with all proceeds going to help their fight for cleaner air and a healthier Chesapeake Bay. And with gas prices soaring, it's never been a better time to win an electric car. Here are 3 reasons you should visit the website evraffle.org and grab a raffle ticket today. Again, evraffle.org. Number 1, the prize options are amazing. First prize winner will choose their own luxury Rivian, Lucid, or Porsche EV worth up to $115,000. Second place will choose between the Rivian R2, Volkswagen ID Buzz, or a Hyundai Ioniq 5. And the third prize winner gets the amazing Chevy Bolt. Reason number 2, each ticket gets you 3 chances to win an EV, which means your odds are incredible. Tickets are just $200 and a limited number will be sold. They even cover taxes and fees on the prizes. And reason number 3, CCAN Action Fund funds for affordable clean energy nationwide. You can win a brand new EV and support a cleaner world. 3 lucky people are going to win and you could be one of them. Get your ticket today at www.evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org, or check out the link in today's show notes.
If your business runs on 5 different apps, 12 browser tabs, and 1 spreadsheet that everyone's afraid to touch, it's probably time for Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that connects every part of your business into one powerful, easy-to-use platform. So instead of wasting time switching between disconnected systems, your entire business works together in real time. Your team moves faster, your data stays accurate, and you can actually focus on growing your business. Let one unified system run your entire business. From the first opportunity to the final payment, everything works together in one place. Whether you're a small business or managing a large operation, Odoo gives you one flexible platform built to grow with you. Learn more at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
The 2-2. Swing, it's golfed in the air, straightaway center and deep. Grisham going back to the warning track near the wall. Hits over his head. Over the wall, it's gone. It's a home run. A pinch hit, game-tying home run for Curtis Mead. Nationals 2, Yankees 2. Just to the left of the 402 mark. Grisham looked like he wanted to rob it. It was just out of his range. Curtis Mead, home run number 17. Pinch hit, home run number 2. And Mead delivers again.
What is remarkable about the Nats getting swept in this series is that the Nats starting pitching in this series ended up being outstanding. The Nats starting pitching in each game in this series was quite good, including Game 3 on Sunday afternoon. Cade Cavalli, a very nice ending to his pre-All-Star break portion of the season. Now, he did have diminished velocity. I don't know to what extent that might have been the heat. It wasn't down much, but it was down. But ultimately, the results were good. 2 runs in 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He gave up 4 hits, which were a double and 3 singles. He issued a wild pitch. He threw 85 pitches, 53 strikes, 32 balls. Cavalli, in the top of the 5th, allowed 2 runs on a double, 2 singles, and a wild pitch. But I was happy to see him do this. His 5-game suspension now over. He was back to being available for this game on Sunday afternoon. Remember, his last outing did not go well. The 11-5 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates at Nationals Park the previous Sunday afternoon. 4 runs, 3 earned in 2 and a third innings. He in that game dealt with dehydration, including lightheadedness. But it really is something in this series. You look at Carson Palmquist and Zach Littell in Game 1, P.J. Poulin and Miles Michaelis in Game 2, and Cade Cavalli in Game 3. The Nats starting pitching against the mighty Yankees this past weekend, superb, and yet the Nats got swept.
Yeah, no, 100%. They did so many things. That's why I said earlier to start the show that it does feel like they're close because they kept, and not just the Yankee series, but just overall, they keep putting themselves in a position to win a lot of games against some of the best competition that they have faced. In Cavalli's case, it was another hot, muggy afternoon game, just like it was a week ago. He said he took some different precautions coming this one, really drank a lot of water. He drank pickle juice, salt, whatever he could to get himself ready. He also admitted that he slept better this week than he did the previous week for reasons that had nothing to do with baseball. So that was good.
Drank a lot of water, got some sodium in me, some pickle juice. So we just planned on it, and it was a little. I was able to sleep better this week, and I think that plays into it. So I felt really good today.
He felt really good about how this went. I agreed with you. He looked like he was laboring a little bit, taking more time between pitches, just a little bit of diminished velocity, but you can't argue with the results of it. I think he comes out of this feeling very good about how he's sort of righted his ship. And in a broader sense, it was a really good first half for Cavalli to show that he could stay healthy, make every start along the way, and at times be really, really effective and look like a frontline big league starter. The negative, and this is the next step for him, is consistency from start to start. That's the important step for anybody in this kind of position. And he knows that. That's what he's going to have to work on now.
I just got 30 starts under my belt, so I'm ready to get after it in the second half.
It's easy to step back at this, and I think he looks at it this way and say, this has been a really important first half in the course of his career and for the organization. There were so many questions about him coming into the season, not really knowing what he was going to be like and if he could hold up physically. And knock on wood, he's been great in that department, has learned a lot and pitched well more often than not. I think this has been a huge step for Cade Cavalli.
I mean, 12 months ago, we were still waiting for him to come back from his never-ending comeback from the UCL surgery. And to think about where he's at now versus where he was 12 months ago, it's like night and day. His numbers for the regular season now, 20 games, all starts, ERA 3.83, whip 135, strikeouts per 9 innings, 10.03. I mean, every Nats fan would have signed up for that. Cavalli himself would have signed up for that. He's staying healthy, like you said, but he's pitching effectively more often than not. So this was an interesting series for the Nats offense. The Nats offense in this series, I don't know that you say that it was bad, but, the Nats scored 8 runs over the 3 games. Ultimately, that's not something to celebrate, right? Especially with how prolific this offense has been for so much of this season. Specific to Sunday afternoon, so the Nats hit for power, but scored just 3 runs. A total just 6 hits. 4 of them were extra base hits. The Nats had 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and 2 singles. The Nats worked 3 walks, but the Nats went just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and that was an issue in this series. The Nats not coming through with runners in scoring position. Now, regarding the 2 home runs, James Wood homered again. He homered in each game in this series. He, for a second consecutive day, homered to lead off the bottom of the first inning. Wood, as the Nats starting right fielder and number 1 batter, 1 for 2 with a solo homer and 2 walks. He and the Nats 1-run first had a leadoff full count homer to right center field for a 1-0 Nats lead. The homer went a projected 434 feet per Statcast, was his 10th leadoff first inning home run, breaking the tie that he had just set the previous day with Alfonso Soriano in 2006 for most leadoff first inning home runs by a Nats player since the franchise moved to D.C. The Wood tear is getting, I feel like, buried a little bit by all the bullpen problems, but he is on fire going into this All-Star break. The Nats' other homer came from Curtis Mead. He came off the bench to pinch hit in DH. He went 1 for 2 with a solo homer. Mead, in the Nats' 1-run 6th, had a pinch, 1-out solo homer to center field to tie the game at 2. The homer went a projected 409 feet per Statcast, and the man for whom Mead pinch hit Abimelec Ortiz. He was the Nats starting DH and number 3 batter. Went 1 for 2 with a double in his MLB regular season debut. The Nats on Sunday morning announced having recalled Abimelec Ortiz from AAA Rochester. He's one of the 5 prospects who the Nats got from the Texas Rangers as part of the trade of starting pitcher MacKenzie Gore this past January 22nd. So a lot there that I just went over. But generally speaking, what did you think of the Nats offense in this series?
Not as much as it could have been. They hit for power. Yes. James Wood, out of his mind, obviously. In addition to all the other stats you pointed out, 28 homers is now a new team record prior to the All-Star break. Soriano had 27 prior to the All-Star break in 2006. Now, the caveat, Soriano only played in 89 games at that point. The All-Star break, as we've noted, is late this year, 97 games. Still, so impressive. And what he's done here in July is just out of this world. Curtis Mead continues to come through. Not just clutch hits, clutch home runs in important situations. That's all been great to see. But overall, they squandered a bunch of opportunities to expand the leads that they did hold and take some pressure off of that pitching staff and especially the bullpen. And I get it. It's not fair to criticize what's been the best offense in baseball. But when the pitching is that bad, or particularly the bullpen is that bad, somebody else has to make up for it sometimes. And in this case, I really would have liked to see some better at-bats from guys with runners in scoring position, with opportunities to extend the leads that they had. You had Dylan Cruz and Dalen Lyle stranding runners and not putting together really good at-bats at times. You had Andres Chaparro, again pinch hitting for Luis Garcia against the lefty, making it out to end an inning. And then you had, once they gave up the lead late, they go 6 up, 6 down, not against the Yankees' regular closer. David Bednar was unavailable because he pitched the last 2 days. It was Paul Blackburn who closed it out the final 2 innings. Blackburn threw 4 pitches in the bottom of the 9th. Lyle, Nunez, and Bibas collectively saw 4 pitches in what was a 2-run game, and you're not even facing their actual closer. I'm not saying they had to come back, that it's all on them for not pulling that off. But boy, I would have liked to see some better at-bats. Try to get Wood back up to bat. He was 2 batters away from batting in the bottom of the 9th, and who knows what might happen there. So that was a recurring theme throughout the weekend. Not hitting with runners in scoring position and really not putting up much of a fight once they trailed late. These are the little things that could make the difference in a pennant race down the stretch. If you can't rely on your pitching staff to hold on to a lead, you may have to expand those leads or be able to make up for a blown lead with your own rally late in the game.
Are we getting close to James Wood being intentionally walked to lead off a half of a first inning? Are we getting close to somebody doing that? I mean, this series, more than any other series, speaks to the possibility of that happening.
Yeah, it would be fascinating if anybody was willing to do it. So far, they haven't, and they've been paying the price for it. So maybe somebody along the way will get that creative. I wonder if Blake Butera would do it. You know, we know how unconventional and by the numbers in some ways he and his staff can be. Would they look at that, you know, and say, you know, actually the simulations say we have a better chance of not giving up runs if we just walk him than pitching to him in the first inning?
If I am an opposing team, one of the biggest things that I'm saying to myself going into a series against the Nats is don't lose the first inning, because this team routinely wins first innings. And we saw that in this series. What we did not see, though, from the offense was the big inning. And we've become accustomed to that. But like you look at Sunday afternoon, a run in the bottom of the first, a run in the bottom of the 6th, a run in the bottom of the 7th. That's how the Nats got to their mere 3 runs. Al Galdi here to tell you about Window Nation. But before that, the Window Nation look into the future.
Maybe the Blue Sox had another comeback in them, as this is launched to left field. Ferguson is back onto the track at the wall, and that ball is gone. Harry Ford with his 4th home run of the season and the 9th long ball of the series for Rochester.
Hey, Al Galdi here for Window Nation. If you're using chat to research your next home improvement project, forget the prompts. We've got all the details on a company that you can trust. For replacement windows and doors without the hassle, just look up Window Nation. Window Nation is the real deal. Homeowners across the country love the one-day installation process, especially since Window Nation installers leave your home cleaner than when they started. And this month, you can get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. That's a lot of savings on top of quality windows and doors. 866-90Nation or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. And did I mention that Window Nation backs each window with a lifetime transferable warranty? That's on top of team members double and triple checking their work from initial measurements to final installation. Reach out to Window Nation to get the windows featured on HGTV's Designing Spaces. And don't forget, this month, you can save 50% on all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments until 2028. Get a free quote at windownation.com. 866-90Nation or windownation.com. Window Nation, the real deal when it comes to replacement windows and doors. 866-90Nation, windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast.
The 3-2 on the way. Swinging a fly ball, left center field. That's down for a base hit. It splits the outfielders and goes to the wall. It's extra bases for Ortiz. He cruises into second with a double, his first major league hit. Abimelec Ortiz pointing to his family in the stands. In his second big league at bat, he's got a double to left center field. Congratulations to the Nationals' newest left-handed hitter.
Only with the 2026 Nats do you have Abimelec Ortiz making his debut, and he's your number 3 batter. You know, like, how many other times in Nats history would we have seen something like that? It happened in this game, and you don't think twice about it because, you know, we've become accustomed to that sort of thing.
Well, and here's the end part of all that, too. They sent him down after the game, one and done for Ortiz. I'm not surprised. It was clear they just wanted an extra left-handed bat for this game against the right-handed starter, Will Warren. They were going with one fewer pitcher. You're not going to do that coming out of the break. Good for Ortiz. He's waited for this moment. He got to hit his double. He got his family up here from Puerto Rico. You saw them on the broadcast cheering for him. It really meant a lot to all of them. I was glad to see that. You know, we may see him again at some point, but this was not some grand change of anything by the organization to say that he's now a part of this as they move forward. This was, hey, we don't need the full pitching staff on the final day before the All-Star break. Let's get another hitter up here, and let's make it a lefty who we could DH bat third, and then you knew they were going to pinch hit for him as soon as a reliever came in for the Yankees.
That really is crazy. He bats third, he DHs, he's brought up, he's sent back down, and nobody thinks twice about it. Look at how different the Nats world now is with this team all in on analytics. All right, so we have arrived at the All-Star break. As mentioned, the Nats next have a 6-game trip out west. That'll be starting late night on Friday night. In the meantime, we have All-Star Week happening at Citizens Bank Park of the Philadelphia Phillies. We have the Home Run Derby on Monday night. We have the All-Star Game on Tuesday night. The Nats have 3 All-Stars and shortstop C.J. Abrams, outfielder James Wood, and starting pitcher Foster Griffin. Wood is not doing the Home Run Derby. Do we know if he was asked and declined or was not asked? Do we have any sense of that?
I don't know the answer to that. The final field came out about a day or two ago, and obviously he wasn't in it. I had going to assume that MLB really wanted Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber all along, being in Philadelphia. They both said yes. I'm not surprised by any of it, but I don't know if they tried to get Wood and he said no, or even C.J. Abrams for that matter, because he would have been an interesting candidate as well. I don't think anybody's disappointed in this. James Wood, I'm sure he's going to have a nice time in Philly, but the way he's going right now, I think he wishes there was another game to play, a real game to play on Monday, because he is so red hot at the moment that anything that throws that off could be bad for him. Hopefully it doesn't. Maybe he stays so hot that he does something that I'm pretty sure no player in Nationals history has ever done and hit a home run in an All-Star game. If he were to do that on Tuesday night, that'd be a pretty big moment. I think I'd take that over a home run derby appearance from him.
Oh, 100%. And, Wood's a guy who, of course, plays basically every game, so it's not the worst thing in the world for him to get some time off here. I mean, the All-Star break is only a few days. It's really not that long. You look at other major pro sports leagues, you get bye weeks, right? NFL, NBA, NHL, these teams will get a week off at some point. In MLB, the quote-unquote All-Star break, it is Monday through Thursday. It's not even always Monday through Thursday. But if you participate in the All-Star game, to say nothing of if you participate in the Home Run Derby, what break is there really? Like last year for James Wood, what break really was there for him?
And in the Nationals case, because they're opening the second half on the West Coast, they're all flying out of here on Thursday afternoon to go to Sacramento. So it's even less time off, at least from like a travel standpoint. And I think that's why some of these guys actually aren't even leaving town. They're going to stay around, work out for a few days, and then be ready to go, when the team flies out west on Thursday. It is a thing. It's tough because baseball players are also so used to the rhythms of the season and the daily grind that a lot of times they actually prefer not to have a long break. I'm sure there are times that physically and mentally they could use one. But I don't know. If I'm James Wood, maybe I'm not even looking forward to any kind of break. Maybe I would want to just keep going because it's hard to mess with what he's got going on right now.
He has been sensational for sure. This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by the nonprofit Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. Tired of paying $4 for a gallon of gas? CCAN Action Fund is raffling 3 amazing electric cars, including a Rivian SUV, as part of an annual fundraiser to fight for clean air in the DMV. Get 3 chances to win with just 1 ticket at evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email us natschatpodcast@gmail.com. We invite you to check out our website, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat, courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the All-Star break, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Blue ball ready. The kick and the pitch. Swing a high drive, left center field. Matthews back to the track, to the wall, and there it goes. A grand slam for James Wood. Nationals 12, Astros 6. To the back of the red seats in left center, a towering grand slam. Home run number 24. Grand slam number 2 for the Nationals All-Star.
As an entrepreneur and dream driver, I know how much heart goes into building a brand. That's why I love seeing small businesses have the opportunity to reach more people. Walmart helps customers discover products from thousands of small brands, each with a founder story built on passion, perseverance, innovation, and purpose. Learn more at walmart.com.